Alright, and welcome to Q Primer for Third Strike. We're going to be doing videos like this for each character of Third Strike, and this is going to be for people that are new to Third Strike to intermediate people. I just want to kind of give a layout of each character to get people started on Third Strike if they haven't already been playing Third Strike. You probably, even if you're not a beginner, you're probably going to learn stuff anyway, so just I don't know, pay attention, I guess. Alright, so we're going to start out with Q. Let's go over his normals real quick. His jab, which will be used as an anti-air, and we'll get into why it's a good anti-air later. His medium punch, not very useful on its own. Now his holding back plus medium punch is this, and this is used in his car grab, and we'll discuss how to do that later. Standing fierce is this, again, not that great, but it holding back and fierce, you can see it changes it up a little bit. That actually does have some uses, specifically in the Dudley matchup. Alright, standing light kick, not really going to be used that much, maybe for like a tick into like a command grab. Standing forward kick, or I'm sorry, standing medium kick. His best poke by far, beats out a lot of Shoto's low medium kicks. This is what he's going to be using to control space and dictate people where Q wants people to be. This is Q's standing roundhouse. You're not going to really use this much outside of combos. Crouching jab, crouching medium, not really that great. This is used sometimes as a meaty on the other character's wake up. It's deceiving because it is not a forward parry. It is a down parry. Crouching, you're not going to really use that crouching light kick that much. Crouching forward, some uses, still not that many though. And then Q's roundhouse, crouching roundhouse, which is a pretty good meaty, sometimes can be used as an anti-air, but all in all a very unsafe move. Then we have his dash punches, which is holding back for 2 seconds and forwarding a punch, that's a light. Here's a medium punch, and here's forward. Used in combos, uses to cover distance, uses to keep people by surprise, and all that. He has his hand slaps, which is quarter circle back and punch, that's light. Medium, heavy. Heavy is rarely only used for a really super an early anti-air. These shouldn't really typically be used for anti-air unless you do it super early. But they are used in combos, like that. Here's the EX one. And same thing, you can also use the dash punch in combos too, of course. That's the EX. And now, what makes QQ is that he has a command grab. His command grab is quarter circle back and kick. Each one, as far as the strengths, do different distances when he catches them. That was light, that's medium, you can see it throws them even farther. Here's a roundhouse, throws them even further. So basically those are Q's moves. Now what's special about Q is that he's kind of limited as far as all his normals and stuff like that, but he has the most defense in the game if you taunt 3 times. And once you taunt 3 times, Q's life is essentially just about doubled. And that means Q can take like 3 supers from, like, let's say Ken, and still have you know, at least a quarter of a life. So Q, even though he doesn't have many options of, you know, offense and opening people up, he's given many chances as far as messing up, I guess you could say. You can do more risky things with Q, like going straight for your command grab, because if you do mess up, if you have those 3 taunts in, you're not going to be taking very much damage at all, even from the strongest combo. So Q's unique in that sense, and he's a pretty complete character, because if people are running away from you, you can be back here and taunting, and obviously they don't want that to happen. So they're going to be closer to you, and typically that's what Q wants. You know, he's not very mobile. You don't want to have to be chasing people down with Q. So the very fact that he has taunts completes him in the sense that he's an actual threat when he's across the screen, because he can incorporate his taunts. Alright, now let's just get into, I know I'm missing stuff, but let's just get into a few combos, and then after that we'll get into, I guess, a little more situational stuff. Well, let's touch on his command grab. Q has probably the second best command grab. Let's see if you do it right. You get a good step in his, but right before his grab. So what you need to do with to get the command grab off is you hold back, then press this button, which is medium punch. You see how that activates that, how he steps it forward like that, and then almost immediately after you press that medium punch, you do the grab. Take some practice, but you can do it. You'll get it. So that's his command grab, and why it's one of the best is because you can be holding back and do the command grab, so you can do it out of blocking. So that's why it's almost so good, because many times, you know, Q has 3 taunts, you know, the other character is jumping around, poking around, trying to get Q, and you're just down back, and you're just pretty much a fortress. And the second they leave a little bit of an opening where they're walking forward real quick, or they whiff like something close to your face, you can just snatch them up. You can just grab them, and then it's a good amount of damage, and you're, you know, in their face, and they're waking up, and you get to try to go into your command grab or whatever that might be. So that's the reason why his command grab, or his car grab, is so good, and another reason why it's so good is because it has really good distance. Oh wow, now I'm messing it up. Alright, so let's talk about some combos. Now, alright, so when you hit a combo, if you haven't already got your taunts off, what you're wanting to do is end your combo in a way that's going to allow you enough time to get a taunt off. So let's say you get a jump in, hit that EX, hit him with the boot, you have plenty of time for a taunt. Same thing with an EX slap, plenty of time to get off a taunt. Typically, when you get into the opponent's face with a Q, if you land a hit, you're going to obviously want to do the most damage, and that's the most damage you can do with an EX, with one EX and not a super. Also, typically, you're going to want to use Super 1. That's a combo you can do involving the dash punch. You don't have to do that. If you get a stomp, you can go right into the super also. Again, enough time to taunt. Now, when Q gets in someone's face, let me put the dummy on block real quick. When Q gets in someone's face, what you're going to want to do is, let's say you jump in, they block it. Now you're right here. You're right next to the character. You have a few options. You jumped in, he blocked it, and you see that he blocked it, so you go right into jab. Now, after the jab, the other person is thinking, okay, Q has a command grab, and typically, you know, people go like this. and then follow with the dash punch and damage them. So that's typically what you do. Okay? But people are going to get onto that. So you jump in, tag them. Now, I don't have anyone with me, so I can't have this character jump right after they block. But right after that jab, when I get in their face, they're going to be jumping or trying to do something. So, being that you have massive defense, you're allowed to take a few guesses. Now, you can go like this, jab, and then now let's say in this case, they jumped. Right after the jab, you would wait half a second and then do your high slaps. In the middle of the screen, that's what you would probably have to do, but since you're in this case, right here he's in the corner, you could probably go like back medium punch, or after you make them block that jab, you can jump and hit them like that. So Q is really all about knowing your opponent's tendencies after you put them in your specific setup. The cool thing about that is that after you put them in your specific setup, and you have all your taunts in, almost always the guess is going to be in your favor, because if they do something like mash out an uppercut or super or something, it really isn't going to do that much damage to you. And if you make the right call, like let's say this person has a tendency to mash, after that jab you can just block. And if they don't do anything, you can just grab them real quick. So Q is just really scary right about here. And see, right here you're outside of normal throw range, but not Kara range. So it's just a scary thing. Another thing about when Q is in the corner, his Kara grab puts people behind him. So when Q's in the corner and you're max up on defense, you really aren't in that bad of a position when they're pressuring you there, because they only need to slip up for half a second. You'll grab them, throw them in the corner, boom, they're in the corner, and you get to play with them. Now, I don't really want to go into too deep of things, but I guess what else is there? Let's just cover a few other things. For the majority of matchups, you're going to be using this super. For matchups like Yun and Yang, and maybe a few other very squishy characters, you're going to want to use super number 2. And you can combo it after dash punches and stomps, which is a medium kick. And of course, after you grab them and do a dash punch, you can of course cancel the super. Number 1 you wouldn't want to cancel to, but number 2, if you time it late enough, the whole super will hit, number 2 super. So that's matchup specific. Yun and Yang, really light characters, you're going to want to use it for. Use super number 2. So in the beginning of the video, I talked about how one of Q's anti-airs is standing jab, and here is why he uses it as a standing jab. People jump at Q, and he can just spam that. They're going to try to parry, but he's just going to do more of those, and they're going to be stuck in the air until they miss a parry and get reset back. So when people start jumping in, empty jumping again, you just start doing that, because they're going to be stuck parrying. Alright, so if they do that, you can just constantly mix them up. You have the advantage because he's in the air and you have all the options. He can only parry or attack. So if he attacks, obviously you could just parry it and then throw him or something. So that's not really like a huge issue. The issue is when they jump in and they parry to try to negate whatever your anti-defense is, but you have 1,000 jabs coming at them. So if they do get parries off, they're just going to be stuck there until they get hit and get bounced away. You condition them to that, and then next time they jump in, hit them with that. Anyway, that's the end of the Q primer. You know, that's not like everything Q's ever about, but I hope it's enough to get someone started that might be interested in Q. Alright, let me know if there's any more questions, and see you guys later.